And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Anytime you're talking about fundamentals in a market and direction, fundamentals take a little bit of time to play out.
We got crude oil today, kind of trading yesterday's value area really nicely, low to high.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
How about now? We should be good. That's on me. I do apologize. We'll start this back over. Welcome to the Market Recap. I am Dan Hodgman for Wednesday, October 6th. And I said this just a minute ago. You didn't hear me. But have we bought all of these markets off the open except for crude, we'd all be sitting pretty. I'm back. I just wanted to test you guys a little bit there. All right, so let's try this. Keep going here. So crude oil broke down off the open, maintained trend from the overnight session, failed to make new highs off the open and closed that gap to settlement price. Instead, continued in the downward direction. Broke down pretty good there. Equities, huge volatile open, if I say so myself. We ripped higher, we ripped lower, we crushed through settlement price, came and checked the high side of value in both those markets there. Gold opened up this morning near the lows, took off to the upside, continued going. We spoke this morning right around settlement price. Settlement price rejected right away. Just kind of fell back, attracted new buyers, continued on trend to the upside. Euro was way down in the overnight session. Volatile until about 10 o'clock this morning. Kind of got a little directional there to the upside. And then lastly, 10-year note. 10-year note opened up at settlement price, moved above, back below, and then basically ending our day here completely unchanged. Things going on in the world to pay attention to. Possible debt ceiling progress. GOP has put in a short-term offer that has the Democrats intrigued. I think they're thinking about it. We'll see how that continues to play out. But that's really the major news. If they can get through and make a deal here, we may see these stock markets start to continue to recover. If not, well, back to the downside. We got a bunch of targets down below that we were talking about this morning. We'll see if they come back into play if things don't work out there. Natural gas continues to be a volatile one. Got to be cautious over there if you are trading that. Today, down 9.6%. Huge down day there in natural gas. I've been watching it a little bit. Still hesitant to get involved in there in an outright position. It can go against you fast. It's moving quite a bit, 606 ticks down. So you got to be careful there. All right. So that's basically everything we got going on. Let's go ahead and take a look at our charts here and see what we got going on. But first, we'll say hello to everyone. And, I'm just testing you there with the volume. I wanted to make sure you guys were awake and paying attention. Kidding. George, good to see you. Ricardo Spencer, Chop Fest in the equities this morning. Yeah, volatile for a while. And then all of a sudden, about lunchtime, really started to pick up and took off. Just Kareem, good to see you. Thanks for letting me know about the sound. Everyone, Michael, James, Spencer, Dr. VJ, good to see ya. Ton Tran, good to see you. Thanks for letting me know. I think we got sound figured out here. Looks like you guys saw it. Lemur, good to see you. All right, yeah, you guys got my sound. Outstanding. Let's go ahead and take a look at these charts here. Here we go. Whoops, wrong mouse. Got to find the right mouse sometimes. All right, as always, we'll start out with our crude oil market. And like we said, we saw it make a new high in the overnight session. We opened up this morning and the market made the attempt to press higher. Really couldn't get there. We wanted to see this start to go make a new high, and it struggled. It failed pretty darn quickly and started to rotate lower. As soon as we start to recognize that it's struggling to make new highs, we have to accept direction is going in the other way. Market broke down quite a bit, and now we just have to look for those strength here to catch that short time frame short. All right, that's really the big key here. Looking for this market. Where can I get in to take advantage of short time frame trend? Short time frame trend is lower. And we have a couple things we can kind of look at. Just for visual, we can bring it all the way up. And this is about where this market really has bottomed out quite a bit over the last few days. Let's try and make it as smooth as possible. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 in the overnight session. Market finally breaks below, makes an attempt to get back up 2, does not make it, breaks down once again, and continues in that move to the downside. Hope you guys were able to catch that short and take advantage of it. Again, it is tough when we are seeing markets trending higher day after day after day. Probability states that it wants to continue. Not the case here today. Finally broke down a little bit. Gave us a little bit of relief. Maybe we won't see this at the gas pumps, most likely. All right, here. Let's look at the S&P 500. I think this is the big one everyone wants to see. We open up this morning, and we crush through into yesterday's range, right? We crush into it. We break up to overnight consolidation. We start to show acceptance over that short time frame trend that we were looking at this morning. We start to show some acceptance up above it. Tough here, right? I'm not crazy about these huge swings, getting involved in these. What I'm looking for is I'm recognizing, okay, I'm seeing continuous rejection up here at 43.17. Continuous rejection right around where we spoke this morning. What did we talk about this morning? I swear I wrote it down. I don't think I wrote it down. I thought I had it written down in one of my notes over here. We watch this market continuously reject. Once we start to see one rejection, we can start to look for another opportunity as the market approaches that. We had actually a numerous amount of opportunities as the market approached that overnight support. Once we start to break through, once we see acceptance breaking through, where's our targets up above? We have settlement price. Remember, we got settlement price up here at 43.34. Market moved nicely through settlement price. And then we have one more target that this market finally worked its way to at the end of the day, all the way up here at point of control, 43.54. All right, now, where do we see? Where do we take our trades up above? If we caught these moves here, or if we miss those, we have another opportunity up above. Once we start to see this market accepting inside of value from yesterday, we're waiting for weakness. We're waiting to get near the low side of value. And what do we get towards the end of the day here? Come right to low side of value, right above settlement price. And it's a great opportunity to see if we can get an end-of-day bounce to recover back towards point of control, which hadn't been checked just yet. Gave us a good chance. Market checks point of control. And we're going to be ending on our highs here today. Now, Nasdaq looks relatively similar. Nasdaq, good opportunities as well. What we like about this one is our high side rejection is point of control. Market opens up, rallies right to, or excuse me, not point of control, settlement price. Rallies right to settlement price. Breaks down to overnight consolidation. Overnight consolidation, 14,580. We talked about that this morning. Market breaks right down to it, and we start to define some range. If we can fade these extremes, that's where we're going to start to find some opportunity. Market finally gets above settlement price, and there's a great chance. If we trade above settles, now we can start to possibly look for an opportunity to close the gap to settlement price up here at 715. And market continues even higher, extending both ends of value here in the Nasdaq. Next, let's look at the gold market. Like we said, gold got a little bit of a bid here today. We opened up this morning, and we were trading right at settlement price when we were talking this morning. Settlement rejected, rotated lower. I said I'm looking inside for now. And we failed to go make new lows and come check value low. What's that telling us? That's telling us trend is higher. We have swing low, higher low, higher low, higher low. We have continuous higher lows in this market. That's a great opportunity. Every time we see some weakness, we look to buy that weakness and see if we can get this market to press higher. Did exactly that. We came just shy of checking Monday's unchecked point of control up here at 1768. Now let's look at the euro really quick. Euro was a tough trade today. Pretty choppy for most of the day, right? We opened up. We had shown a little bit of strength this morning when we were talking. We knew trend was to the downside. We're starting to see a little bit of strength. But we here, same thing applied. We failed to continue to make new lows. When we start to recognize this market is failing to make new lows, we should look for this thing to recover higher. And it did exactly that. This really, to me, was our chance. As soon as we saw an attempt to go make a low but failed, that's a great chance for us to take a buy and see if we can get this thing to at least recover some of the losses. This is a huge recovery to close the gap to settlement price. Really an unexpected recovery there. Let's pay attention and see what happens here in the overnight session. Let's keep an eye out. If we're continuing to make new highs and higher lows, might be a chance to see this thing recover just slightly. If not, if we start to see this market rolling over and we start making new lows, direction's changed. All right, and lastly, let's go ahead and look at our 10-year note, and we'll get on out of here. 10-year note opened up this morning. We looked at it. We were at settlement price. We said, look to see if we can recover yesterday's value. We rally right up to yesterday's value area high this morning, right off the equity open. Value area high rejects, rotates right back towards settlement price. And like we said, changing our day unchanged, or ending our day here unchanged. So some good opportunities out there. Like we said, there's a lot of chop in some of these. You got to be careful trading a lot of this stuff. If you find the opportunity, you go with it. Recognizing when markets get directional, every single one of these markets, other than 10-year note there, had some pretty distinct direction during the regular trading hours. One thing I do want to say, I watch a lot of traders, I talk to a lot of traders, I see a lot of trading happen. And one of the things that I start to recognize is when a lot of traders, they start to see the market making some sort of move. And they're looking quickly at that breakout. Well, you got to be cautious trying to always pick a breakout. Or on the flip side, they're trying to pick tops. They're trying to say, all right, markets, this moves over. Let's see if it rotates over. Let that market get directional. Let it tell you what it wants to do. We sat here pretty much all day, and I was watching the Nasdaq and the S&P extremely closely. And we knew we had strong targets up above. We had points of control from yesterday. We watched the open market rallies pretty strong in the open in both S&P and Nasdaq. Tells us this thing wants to work higher. We saw continuous rejection at key levels. Great. When we start to see that rejection, we can take those shorts, we can rotate it back inside. As soon as those levels give up, we don't want to continue to short. We want to see, we're looking to see if that market can then get to those next points. And now, how do we trade to those next points? It's not just about, okay, we have a target up above. I got to buy this thing and see if I can run it up there. It's pretty easy to sit here and say, I can buy it. I think a lot of traders say this all the time. Well, I knew the direction. I just got stopped out. Well, probably because you start to buy as the market's pressing new highs. When you see a market make new highs, you got to start watching, as I call it, the heartbeat. I've been calling it a heartbeat for a while, and the market has a heartbeat. It's going to ebb and flow. It's not going to just go from point A to point B up above. It's got to work, right? It's just a simple charting. And we want to recognize, when is it giving up a little bit? If it starts to give up, recognizing, you can watch it. And I strongly recommend looking at the dome, and you'll see where the market starts to fade off and where it's struggling to continue to bring in new sellers. And that's going to be the key and the point where you can go, okay, here it comes. It's giving up. I can buy now. It might go against you a little bit. That's absolutely okay. As it starts to go against you, recognize, all right, is it still struggling, or are we now picking up steam, and are we bringing in more sellers? It's an art form. It takes a little bit of time, but the more time you sit and watch, the better you'll be able to control your losses, and the more opportunities you're going to have to see these markets run higher. Spencer, I see your question here. It seems to be a bit of an art form to recognize failed low and high from an unfinished downside upside auction that's going to continue. That's It is. It's 100% an art form. It's something that takes time. One of the best things you can have in this industry is screen time, just watching these markets. You don't have to trade in them all. I find I pay closer attention when I'm in a trade, but just kind of watching it. You can sit here and you watch something like the Nasdaq moving up and down all day, or the S&Ps. You start to recognize the levels, and you start to see, okay, we're seeing this market bounce, let's just call it 43.50. We're seeing this market hit 43.50 and break down, 43.50 and break down. It bounces, comes right back. It bounces off that 50 and comes right back. Okay, let's pay attention to what happens as this market's reacting around 50. As soon as 50 breaks down a little bit, you see that quick pop. Oh, we like that. Now is it holding above 50? If it starts to hold above 50, okay, cool. Here's a chance to possibly take that move higher. And it really does take time watching those charts, being involved in these markets. It's not an overnight thing. It's not something you're going to look back and go, October 6, 2021, I figured it out. No, that's not going to be the case. It's going to be something that comes over time. Some days you're going to get it, and some days, it's just not there. I've been at this for pretty much half my life at this point, and some days it's just not there. I still have the same, fear a little bit, when I take a trade and go, is this actually going to work? Is it going to break down and go against me? We still have, that's the best part about this. It's no guarantees. The only guarantee we have is ourself and the strategy we're playing on. Now, I want to touch on something that I tried to on Monday, totally forgot. Then yesterday came in to talk about it a little bit, and my internet went out. Like I said this morning, swear I paid my bills. Everything should be good there. But I wanted to talk about why settlement price is such an important thing. You hear John and I talk about it each and every day. It's one of the first things that every trader writes down when they look at their trading. Settlement price. Well, I want to explain why settles are so important. There's a lot of reasoning behind it, but for me, one of the best justifications I can have for settlement price is every trader out there that's carrying a position from yesterday into today, their P&Ls yesterday, when you run a P&L off of a position you're carrying to understand where you're at, you run P&Ls based off of settlement price for that day. So let's say my background, treasury options. Let's say I've got my options position on. Pit close, 2 p.m., 2:15, settles post up on the board on the floor. And this was one of my first jobs as in the trading world I was trade checking and running settles, running P&Ls at the end of every day. And basically we have all of our trades input into our risk software. And we don't really have a running P&L. We have a little idea of what our P&L is all day. But we're carrying positions and everything, make some, lose some. You're trying to control it. And you want to get an idea of really how you did that day based off of where that market closed. So you run your P&L based off of those settlement prices. So then you sit down today, and let's say you're not really doing a whole lot yet, or there's not much opportunity coming in. You still are trading because you're managing your position. You're trying to keep your position delta neutral. And as that market moves, you're buying and selling things, calls, puts, futures against your position to try and keep delta neutral. As you do that, you're still looking at where's settlement price. If you're not really adding to your position, you're just covering yourself when that market, let's say you go into the day, short. Market opens up above settlement price. For you to get back into the profits, you want to see that market come lower near settlement price. You're going to adjust your position to increase your opportunity of, it's like leveraging in and out of trades. You're trying to balance it. You want to see that market kind of get closer towards settlement price. So a lot of traders out there, settlement price is that break-even point for them. They're trying to see if they can, what they can do to see that market rotate near it. So everyone's kind of looking at those same things. That to me is one of the main reasons settlement is such a valid point when you talk about your trading, because everyone looks at it because that's how they determine how much money they're making and losing each and every day. Adam, conditions for step 2 changed. How long did it take to pass step 2? You can find all that right in our help center. It kind of explains it. Could It's just a little bit different. And if you didn't get that email, it is in the help center. You can check that out. Also, you can email support@topstep.com. They'll be more than happy to help, or give them a call, 888-407-1611. All right, now I digress. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got going on here. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin had itself a nice little day. Bitcoin's up at $55,600. Federico, is any way to calculate settlement price? It would be useful to create a script to have it automatically on the chart. Federico, it just depends. I don't know the calculations. They're posted in your quote board. They're on the CME website. Some platforms automatically input them. Beyond that, I don't know the calculation. I pull it from my quote board every day, or I go to CME website. And like I said, some platforms can add it. I personally use T4 and CTS. Those will have an automatic, just check the box and it drops settlement price on there. I think NinjaTrader does too. I think a few of them out there do. I don't know all of them though. Yeah, thanks for hopping on there, Spencer. All right. What else do we want to look at? Well, let's look at our Airbnb stock. Nice day for Airbnb, up at $167.25. GameStop. Let's talk the memes. GameStop, another down day. Low is 166. High up at 172. Ending the day at $171 a share. AMC, down day here. Low down by 35.50. Ending the day at 36.83. Tesla, love and life, $782. Robinhood, nice little bid here today, up slightly, $42.02. Equities are higher, so that means the VIX is lower, but still holding strong, up above 21.09. But a hell of a volatile day. We had a high at 24.4 in the VIX, so lots happening there. All right, and lastly, this date in history, and we'll get on out of here. This is an interesting one. In 1866, we had the first ever stagecoach robbery here in America. Found that kind of interesting. 1866. The Reno brothers got off with $13,000 in the middle of Indiana on a train that was going from Ohio to Mississippi. And we have one other one. 1926, Babe Ruth sets a World Series record for most home runs in a game. He hit 3 home runs against the St. Louis Cardinals in the 4th game of the World Series, and the Yankees went on to win that one 10-5. But they lost a championship game. Lost a championship in the 7th game. So, St. Louis Cardinals, 1926, were your World Series champions. On that note, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign on out of here. John will be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Central Time. Let's hope I think he should be back. If not, you'll see my face. So other than that, stay safe, wash your hands, trade smart, and trade well. Look forward to seeing you guys in the markets. Take care, everybody.